perfect blend of the post-race high and the pre-race jitters is the break between races of a doubleheader Saturday night. And that's where we find ourselves right now, streaming cyberspace into your place. From beautiful South Boston Speedway, it's the Virtual Grip Network's penultimate round coverage of the Bootleg Racing League's Late Model Invitational Series, Season 29. Let's talk about pressure. James Lowe comes to South Boston second in the points race, just 16 markers out of the top spot held by Aiden Young. 2 back of Lowe sits Scott Negus in third. The rule package should grid both Negus and Lowe ahead of Young, and if they can keep the points leader behind them all race, Lowe and Negus will go into next week's season finale with a legitimate shot at the season's crown. It was the man who penned Casey at the Bat, Ernest Lawrence Thayer, who later wrote about the sport of sim racing. You have to learn to pace yourself. You're just like everyone else. You've only had to run so far so good, but you'll come to a place where the only thing in your face are loaded guns in your face, and you'll have to deal with pressure. So pull the lever on the lazy boy and settle in for the simulated short track racing action that's about to stream your way. From Old Dominion, a warm hello and welcome on this Saturday night, March 8th, 2025. It is Ricky Hard-in-the-Wall Harden joining yours truly, Bill Simpson, from the DGN broadcast booth to bring you our Words Eye View replay. Ryan Senator turning the knobs and pushing the sliders. Ricky, what do you know about this place?
Yeah, South Boston Speedway is a true gem of short track racing nestled in the heart of Virginia. It's a 4/10 of a mile oval, and it may feel small in size, but it's packed with big action and rich history. We're about to watch the late model stock cars take on this tight, high-banked bull ring, and folks, this place demands precision and patience. 12 degrees of banking, it feels like a heck of a lot more in the corners. And it lets drivers carry a surprising amount of speed, but the straights are short. It means you're constantly on the brakes, setting up passes, working that wheel. Did I mention the walls down the straightaway? Man, keeping the cars between the concrete can make it feel like you're juggling chainsaws in a phone booth. It's fast, risky, and no margin for error. Tires wear down fast on this abrasive surface, and the inside line usually prevails in the long run. So we'll expect to see plenty of bumpers used and tempers tested as these drivers muscle their way to the front, especially since here at the Bootleg Racing League, we invert the top 13 finishers each week.
Yeah, run the juggling chainsaws in a phone booth. Okay, got it. Use that for later. Hey, with practice going on right now, it's a good time to take a look at the points. With Matt Hoos in his Holstein machine making a season debut last week at Oswego, the number of drivers who has raced at least once this season climbs to 33, with 11 drivers having raced in each of the previous 9 events. In a shocking stat, get this, Aiden Young Gun Young has only led 9 of the 900 laps he's turned this season. The complicated math has his laps led percentage at 1%. The only active driver with more than 1 win at South Boston for a career is James Lowe. He has a pair. Now compare Young's 1% laps led percentage with Scott Negus, who's led 30% of all the laps turned this season, hence Negus's 3 wins. Also with 3 wins is Ruben Altice. Todd Liston has 5 double-digit results. My goodness, not the year that not the consistency that we know Todd Liston for. Posting a season worth 15th 2 weeks ago at Southern National. Well, Ribeye Joe Snyder topped that with an 18th last time out. Snyder's season 26 title is almost as distant a memory as John Wilson's title that happened a season later. Nobody has more late model starts at South Boston than Lowell Jewell. The boss man is 0 for 23 at this place. Maybe he's going to get that first win tonight. Oswego saw rookie Ed Springer post his best season results, coming home in 4th. And then opening round winner Mike Holloway rounds out the graphic. There you have it. A nice healthy field of 21 drivers here tonight. This one and one more to go. Our over-under driver. Well, it's the milkman, Matt Hoos, and Simon and Poindexter in the smoke-filled back rooms of those Vegas casinos have set the line really high here, 5.5 for Matt Hoos. Ricky, bet the under if you think you'll finish 5th or better. The over for 6th or worse. What say you?
Holy cow, that's a heck of an over-under line there. 5.5. I think I'm going to take the under for Matt Hoos. Matt Hoos, last time he came to South Boston Speedway, the Bootleg Racing League late models, he won. Give me the under.
There you go. I like that pick too. If I were a gambling man, which I'm not, basically because I've ran out of money, I would go that way as well. Okay, let's go ahead and run down the fifth starting order for you now. In the 22, it is Double Deuce Bruce Pearson. He'll be starting on the pole inside of the man who's been really hot of late, the number 7 Chris Davis.
Steve Hilbert going to take that 52 machine off in the 3rd position with Todd Liston in 4th.
Soon to be a member of the 51st state of the United States, it's the Canadian Goose John Wilson. Another Canadian, or future American, outside of him, Scott Negus.
Oh, there's a guy with a lot of speed in 7th position. Mike Holloway going to roll off on the inside of that row alongside Ruben Altiz in the number 70.
Top rookie, Ed Springer. Oh, it's always scary when a rookie starts inside the point leader, and that's going to be Aiden Young.
Right behind them, James Lowe, the guy chasing Aiden Young for that championship, rolls off 11th with the caveman Trey Bloom to his outside 12th.
Took Trey Bloom 61 races to pick up his first late model win. He did that last time out. Congratulations. Good to see him starting outside of row 6. Kurt Smith and Adam Shane will be in the next row.
15th and 16th, Brennan Myers and Chris Hazlett.
Joe Steiner, the Butcher of Baton Rouge, will be starting in 17th position with our spotlighted driver Matt Hoos in 18th.
Tom Hilbert and Donnie Moore will round out the 10th row with Lowell Jewell starting shotgun on the field. We should mention that there are a couple drivers who had end-of-line penalties here, and that's Ruben Altiz and Scott Negus.
That's good. So that means when you're 0 for 23 like Lowell Jewell is, last thing you want to do is start the race in the very last position. So we'll have a couple drivers behind him. All right, glad you are with us today. We got 100 laps. You got to finish on the same tires that you start with. Let me turn it over to my partner to call the beginning of this next to last race.
Yeah, pace car is going to take that hard left-hand turn, get out of the way, and it's under the control of the Double Deuce of Bruce Pearson. He's on the loud pedal, and he gets a great jump. Chris Davis going to jump into line right behind him. They're single file for the top 2, but it is a snarling pack behind that as the 52 machine gets loose off of turn 2 and hits the inside wall. That will bring the caution out. Everybody scatters to try to avoid the Hilbert machine, and it looks like everybody was able to do so.
Bounced up, got Springer, which makes you wonder, because remember, Springer, where was Aiden Young Gun Young was right in that mix as well. And I guess he got through okay.
It looks like it. I see that Chris Hazlett got together here. We're going to see with Springer, as Springer kind of got thrown into the lap of the Lipper. And no one else picked up any damage. I actually think that Aiden Young may have started from pit lane.
Yeah. Well, no, he's up in 4th now. That wouldn't surprise me because he did that. I think maybe he might have gotten advantage because of those penalties. Maybe the guys were on the inside line or on the outside line and moved him up a bit.
Yeah, good call. Both of the penalty cars moved from the outside lane, so he got to gain 2 rows and starts way up near the front. And
moved him right out of the first lap problem that would have caught him. We talked about being on the outside of a rookie, and man, sometimes, the fate is kind to you.
When it's going your way, it's going your way, right?
All right, let's go ahead and see. We'll keep an eye on the lights on the pace car. Let's go ahead and talk to Bruce Pearson, who's up in front, see how he's feeling up there. We'll do this real quick, Bruce, because we're late coming to you. How long do you think you can stay up front?
Oh, man, I have no idea. I've been experimenting all through practice with the different lines, trying to save tires. That's why my speeds are so off. So, I don't know. I'm just going to try to keep as many guys behind me as long as I can.
All right. Good luck to you. We'll keep an eye on you.
Thank you.
Lights go off. Well, it's 4 laps in. So far, so good.
For the Double Deuce, sure.
Yeah.
And, this is a track where there can be a lot of attrition. We've seen that in seasons past here, the Bootleg Racing League. This is a track we don't go to every season, but when we do, we tend to see 5 or more cautions. And I wouldn't be surprised if tonight was any different. And there goes Bruce Pearson onto the loud pedal. He gets another good restart. And here goes Chris Davis trying to get into the line right in front of Todd Liston. They stack up a little bit when he did that, but no harm, no foul. They get in line.
Well, if anybody's going to make the top side work, it's Aiden Young, and he's stuck up there right now. They're lined up behind him. I don't think Aiden would mind if he's just going to play it careful here, let some cars go by. He finds a spot. No, he was going to duck in front of the caveman, then thought better of it. Wasn't sure he was clear. Now he feels better about it.
Yeah, he was just being a little extra cautious right there. He saw the 32 kind of dive into the corner a little harder than Aiden was expecting. So Aiden said, I think I'll open the door and let him have it if he wants it. But Trey wisely backed out of the throttle, lets Aiden Young have it. They're still battling side by side right there behind him. And it looks like the outside with the advantage now. And John Wilson, he gets a really good run up there. And he's cleared Trey Bloom for now. Let's see if he comes down. Now, he wants to keep running a little higher on the track.
Boy, running kind of the middle line there. Just to clear ourselves, when I talk about the caveman, of course, we're talking about Trey Bloom, the number 32, who's currently racing in 6th position. Back half of your top 10, where you can see it on the tower, Shane, Lowe, Holloway, and more.
We're watching a side-by-side battle back here with Brendan Myers and Kurt Smith. Those guys have been battling lap after lap now here for about the last 3 or 4 laps. And, man, the outside's looking fairly strong here. As you see the 6 machine of Kurt Smith on the outside, gets a pretty good launch there to turns 3 and 4 and gets a good run down the straightaway. But look over here in turns 1 and 2. It looks like the 11 really gets a better run on the bottom.
That 2-wide battle. The only other one going on is a little farther back, also with Negas on the outside of Hilbert. We'll check that out one a little bit later. But right now, the best one is up in front, and they get that sorted out.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be too long before we have a battle for the lead. Look here. Chris Davis all over the back bumper of the double deuce of Bruce Pearson, and he is almost close enough to wear the paint off of it. He looks to the inside here down into turn number 3, not able to make anything happen. But look how low on the track Bruce Pearson is running. He gets all 4 tires below the yellow line on the inside there in 3 and 4.
Make it impossible to get to the left of him. Boy, I'll say, quite a difference. He protects the inside line, but he loses a lot of momentum down the straightaway, and that's where Davis starts to get very, very, it's tasty.
Yeah, there's just not long straightaways here, so it's hard to get a good run, but the line Chris Davis is running gives him a much better launch off the corners, and he's coming at that 22 machine by the time they get down to the next corner. He just kind of runs out of time to do anything with that.
I'm not so sure if Davis got to the outside and would pin the 22 down on the inside line if the 7 could make it work. That's what he's going to try to do.
Yeah, look at this. The 22 kind of runs him up the track there into turn 3. Is there going to be a little bit of a crossover move right here? No, there will not be. They stay single file.
This is all great fun, but Davis clearly working hard out there. You got to wonder if this is going to come back to cost him later. Now he looks to the inside. There's a lot of good racing going on. Nothing more exciting than what we're seeing up front.
Well, look at James Lowe there. Battle for the championship heating up as he's getting a little closer to Aiden Young. Aiden benefited from the starting position after those guys got a penalty, and it kind of put a gap between he and James Lowe. But Lowe's been kind of methodically working his way forward here over the last few laps. He's up 4 spots since the start of the race, and those are legitimate because he was on the inside row that didn't get to gain because of the penalties.
The other driver that's still in the championship conversation, Scott Negas, racing right at now in 15th position. You got a ways to go. A long way to go, though. Anything can happen. There's Negas.
Yep, certainly the case, and he is trying to work his way forward, but he definitely doesn't want to cause any more incidents out there. He's been in his fair share this season and trying to keep it clean here so that he doesn't have to sit out the last race of the season. Chris Davis, man, he is wearing out the back bumper of the double deuce. He gets into him a little bit down the front straightaway as the 22 kind of came across the nose of Davis. I think Davis had a little bit of intention to peek to the high side right there, and Bruce shut the door real quick, and not enough time for Davis to cross under, but he's got another run off of turn 4.
Watching Pearson race, I'm not sure that was an intentional blocker. If the car just didn't get a little squiggly on him, he's fighting for all he's worth. He's got him in there, and boy, Pearson is coming down on him.
Yeah, I mean, Davis just didn't really get there. He wasn't able to get side by side, but he had a heck of a run. I suspect that the gearing in these cars has them kind of running out of gear before they get to the end of the straightaway, because it looks like the speeds just sort of equalize as they get close to corner entry. So to me. Here you go. He gets another run at him, and he's peeking to the inside. Davis is. He's going to get there side by side through the turn. And Davis loses a little momentum because he got loose there on the inside of the double deuce of Bruce Pearson, but he's going to stick to the inside. And here they come off of turn 4, even. And it's Bruce Pearson leading him at the line.
All right, let's see how hard Pearson pins him down. I think Davis has the advantage on the inside. Good run out of 2 for Pearson, but he's finally, little by little, losing ground, and he has to give it up. New leader, Chris Davis.
Yeah, you got to wonder how hard did both of those guys work in that battle, because they were really going at each other for a while, and you could see the back end of the double deuce machine just kind of wagging back and forth as he came off the corner, just trying to maintain that lead. You see it still happening as he comes off of turn number 4 right there. And here comes Todd Liston. He's trying to get into this battle too, and he's sort of run these guys down as they got side by side.
Liston has had good results this season, but so many bad results in the late model. He's starting to come up right now, trying to run down Pearson. Want to talk about Donnie Moore. He's our big mover. Started in 20th position. He's cut that in half. He's in amongst it right now. He's got Holloway and Shane in front of him, and a really aggressive Joe Snyder behind him with the cow of Matt Hoos back there trying to hit the under.
He certainly is, and I think right now Matt Hoos is back there just biding his time. Maybe he knows he's the spotlighted driver. He just wants to be careful and keep the tires on it and be there at the end of the race. And you're doing what you got to do if you got to be there at the end of the race right now, just kind of riding single file and protecting the tires.
Let's go to second. Liston is making a run on the outside. Pearson said, I didn't like the outside last time. That got the better of me, so Pearson's going to make Liston try it. Well, it doesn't matter, Bruce, top or bottom, they seem to be faster than you. Liston's going to get this done.
Yeah, Bruce is just running so low on the track. He's having a hard time getting the power down. I think when he's down there on the flat, it wants to kind of get out from underneath him, and he loses a lot of momentum down the straightaways doing that.
If practice times mean anything, and sometimes they do, he was the slowest of all cars in practice. So tip of the hat, though, for him being competitive. That's allowed Davis to open up quite a gap. And you know the nature of this thing, we're a third of the way through. They're single file. This could go green for a while.
Yeah, we need to get a static camera that shows the whole track, because this track is a conveyor belt. Look at this right here. There are cars everywhere. There's not really any big gaps on the track right now. Ed Springer is going to go a lap down here within the next few laps, and you see him go by right there. Chris Davis is only a half a straightaway back from him. So that's what happens when you get green flag runs here at South Boston. Everybody's really well behaved right now, and we got it strung out.
Love that shot at the end of the corner there between 1 and 2. You could look and see the cars down through 3 and 4. That was fun. Nice job, director. I enjoyed that one.
A lot of really good camera angles out here tonight. It's
Indeed.
great. I see a battle brewing back for about the 6th or 7th position, because James Lowe has been putting a little pressure on the caveman Trey Bloom in that 32 machine, looking for a way around. Now, I got to believe that James is looking after his tires a little bit here. He doesn't want to be too aggressive, but I think he sees where that 69 of Aiden Young is and doesn't want to let him out of his sights.
We talked a little bit about it. Lowe really cannot afford to give up any points at all. He's got to finish ahead of Young to have a legitimate shot going into the season finale. Lowe certainly capable of doing that.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. With about 20 to 25 cars in the field maximum, you're not going to get more than about a 20-point swing. So He's 16 back already. He really needs to close that gap in to really have a legitimate shot. But in front of them, they're lapping the 70 machine of Ruben Altiz. He gets way down out of the way, but Todd Liston way up by the wall, loses some ground here, and that's giving Bruce Pearson a look at him. Oh, 3 wide with James Lowe right here. That was a little sketchy.
Lowe got to the inside of Bloom, and then both of them ran up on Altiz, who was off pace.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, that's what I talk about when it's like juggling chainsaws out here. There's nowhere to hide. There's walls on both sides of you when you get to the straightaway. So even if you want to go way down to the inside of the track to let guys by. Oh, Scott Negus gets sideways in the center of turns 1 and 2, goes around, but he's way down on the flat. This is not going to bring out a yellow flag. He's going to get it righted, and he's going to stay on the lead lap right in front of Chris Davis, I do believe. You see, he just kind of lost it.
Yeah, comes on out.
But no arm, no foul, no caution. Anytime there's a car spun around down there below that yellow line, we're going to stay green. We're not going to throw the rag out for that one. But he's barely hanging on to the end of the lead lap here right in front of Chris Davis.
So we have only 15 cars on the lead lap, that the last one being Scott Negus. And I guess some of these lap cars are, I guess, like Altice is down just on pace as far as
I believe he's got some damage that's affecting him. And I know Ed Springer has quite a bit of damage that's affecting him as he goes a second lap down now and lets this big group of cars go by. It's turning into a hornet's nest here from Todd Liston on down because everybody's sort of gathered up behind him.
And surprisingly, Liston, I thought once he got around Pearson would be able to run up and challenge Davis, but Davis is really having it his own way right now. He is cooking with hot fish grease well out in front. Aiden Young looking on the back of Pearson. Young's got to be careful because here comes Wilson and Lowe.
And here's the question about Chris Davis. Is he out there running his own race? Is he saving any tire here? Because when we get a caution, or if we get a caution, it can really shake up what happens, because if you've used up all of that tire equity, you're going to be hurting when you bunch back up.
You can see the leader just went around Ruben Altice. Altice now 2 laps down, but in 16th. And you might be wondering, well, what's really Ruben out there racing for? Well, Ricky was talking about attrition. He's in 16th. In theory, he could find his way up into 13th, start on the pole for the season finale. I think that's what he's thinking right now.
You see that right front wheel sticking way out on that thing. It's not driving how he wants, but he's just trying to soldier on. And if he can get into that 13th position, man, that'd be a godsend for next week. These guys are bunched up, aren't they?
They are indeed. It's fascinating. The guys who are on pace, who are leaving the guys who are racing with behind, moving into the other guys. We're looking there at Shane, who has ran down Trey Bloom a little bit ahead of them. That's Lowe, who's working on the back of Wilson. Young is in there. Pearson, oh, God bless him. I thought the car was cooked, but the 22 is out there racing strong.
I'll tell you, Bruce Pearson has set the fastest lap of the race so far at a 15:169, but the pace has dramatically slowed since then. We're seeing about 15.5 to 15.6 out of most of the field now, and that lets you know where the tires are at. They got warmed up and they've lost a little bit of pace, but that tells me that 22 was not saving anything when he was out front.
No. Let's duck in on Donnie Moore in 10th. We talked about him. He was making his way through the field. Don't know if that must have been a lot of attrition because he doesn't seem to have a lot of pace. He's got Brendan Meyer behind him right now. Meyer looking to get that spot.
Well, yeah, he did a great job avoiding that incident early on, and he got the benefit of the guys on the outside who were penalized and had to start behind him. So he was gifted 2 rows on the initial start and then missed the incident. So that really gained him a lot of ground, but still a long way to go. Aiden Young looking to the inside of the double deuce of Bruce Pearson right here. He's got a good run on him. Is he going to be able to get there? I think he will off of turn number 2.
Pearson's been passed on the low side, been passed on the high side, and now Young's caught him.
Now, if you're James Lowe, you're looking at Aiden Young and hoping he'll burn up a little bit of tire right here, battling with the double deuce. You saw him get a little sideways there off the corner, able to gather it back in, and that's one of the hard things about trying to pass here at South Boston Speedway. When you get side by side, you have to pinch that car down really hard out of the corners, and it doesn't really like to handle well.
Pearson is going to make him earn it, and by gosh, and there's Ruben Altice again, trying to make the car as skinny as possible. Does a great job of getting out of the way, but look at that! Double Deuce Bruce fends him off.
Yeah, I think Aiden would like to get to the outside of Bruce, but he gets another run. He's going to have to take it to the inside, and he's going to try to get side by side with him. He gets way down on the flat like we see Bruce do earlier in the race, but not able to do anything with that run. I think Aiden would prefer to go topside.
The 22 has moved the racing line a little bit farther to the outside, not quite getting those left sides down as low as he was before. Still, as low as anybody out there, though, is Pearson.
Yeah, Pearson's doing a really good job making that thing wide, man. It's looking like a Pontiac Bonneville from 1972. That thing is about a boat out there.
AMC
look at that 69.
Yeah, the car is really squiggling.
AMC Pacer, is that what you said?
Yes. Gonna take
Absolutely.
you up to the leader real quick. He just worked around Tom Hilbert. Little by little, he's been gathering up now Scott Negus. Remember, Negus is quick. He got an end-of-line penalty, and then he looped the car around, so the 29 might be faster than you might think you're being last on the lead lap. But Davis has so much cushion. There's actually no reason to try, unless he's worried about maybe getting Negus not on the lead lap as a threat to win this thing.
Yeah, I'm sure that's in the back of his mind. And Chris Davis last time by ran the fastest lap of anybody on the track, so he is not holding anything back. He wants to get around Negus if he can, and he's really putting the pressure on. Look at this. The 39 machine of Joseph Snyder is parked at the entrance of pit road. He actually just towed back to the pits. He was off the racing surface just under that yellow line. Well, you see an incident with Matt Hoos.
Yeah.
Hoos, our spotlighted driver, was involved in that.
They got together, and then they both tried to limp it around, and Snyder ended it right at pit entrance there on the backside.
Yeah, I think he just kind of ran out of straightaway right there. We got another battle with the 69 of Aiden Young and Bruce Pearson as we come back from watching the replay. He gets to the inside of Bruce again, and you see him lose all that momentum off the corner, not really able to complete the pass. But they're coming up on the lap machine of Tom Hilbert. What are they going to do here? Oh, a little bit of contact off of turn number 4. They're going to try to go under him. Here goes Hilbert all the way to the top, and Bruce Pearson really squeezes Aiden Young down the track, but they remain side by side into turn 3.
Oh, my goodness. The best seat in the house is John Wilson. The battle continues, and Pearson fights back hard. Young can just not get the bite off of the corner exit, and Pearson gets a good run on the outside. You're right. If Young could get the car to the outside of the 22, he'd have it made. But right now, it's time to do it on the inside.
Yeah, I really think the outside is pretty good for defending with the way this car is set up tonight. And Aiden Young is just really struggling to do anything down there with Bruce Pearson. As you see, Bruce clears him. They go back to single file, and he's going to have to try to set him up again.
You almost wonder now if Wilson would like to get to Young while Young is really, those tires are hot, and make a run, see if he can get to the outside. I think if Young goes underneath him again, I wouldn't be surprised if the 75 goes to the outside.
Yeah, that would absolutely be a very good move, heads-up driving, because you've seen how the outside lane is able to really pinch that guy down, and Aiden just really can't get the power down when he's down there. But every time he gets close, you see that Bruce Pearson runs a little bit of a wider lane, a wider arc into the corner, and just doesn't let Aiden get to the outside at all. Behind them, here comes James Lowe with a run on the John Wilson machine. He tried to look to the inside there, but not able to do anything with it. Like I said, I think these guys run out of gear here at the end of the straightaways, and kind of makes any run you had die down.
Feels like they get a good run either on the inside or the outside, especially on the outside, and then this car will just not go anywhere.
Oh, another car spun out. It's Matt Hoos in the cow machine. He's down below the line, not going to bring out a yellow flag, but that is going to cost him. He's not going to be able to hit the under tonight, and he's going to make me a loser. No going to the pay window for me.
No, but that's one of the reasons Altice is still turning laps out there. He's going to try to see if he can attrition his way up into that 13th spot. Springer is 3 laps down. He's still going around. Matt Hoos now, well, he's parked it, so I think there's going to be spots for those guys.
These guys are really stacking up really hard. Just a second ago, you saw Adam Shane get around Trey Bloom and almost got into the back of James Lowe. And then right there, last lap, James Lowe got almost to the back end of the car in front of him, John Wilson, the Canadian Goose. They're just really getting stacked up behind Bruce Pearson right now, and there's just nowhere to go. And here goes Lowe to the inside of Wilson. Wilson going to try to squeeze him down there. They make a little bit of door-to-door contact, and they're going to be Cialis bathtubs off of turn 2.
Yeah, Wilson.
Aiden Young to the outside.
He got, oh my, and here comes the 2 cars behind him now. Now Lowe gets
really
to the
loose.
inside of him. Yeah. Look at that. There's the point swatch. Lowe now ahead of Young.
That's big right there. If he can close this gap by getting in front of him, that will help him tremendously going into the last race. Aiden really struggling on the outside. I think that the marbles are kind of built up there, and you can't go very high or it gets slick. Woo, you see the John Wilson machine get really loose on the inside right there. Now he's got a battle from Adam Shane, and still sideways as that 75 car. Let's see if James Lowe can do anything with the double deuce Bruce Pearson. He's going to poke to the inside, going down into the corner, and he's side by side.
Oh, this is good. This is good. Low now in the 99. Getting out of the way. That was Tom Hilbert doing a good job of keeping the car up high. Let's see what Lowe can do. It didn't work for Aiden Young. Lowe would really like to get this spot. It puts another point between him and the guy he's trying to get. Go ahead.
A little bit of contact off the corner, and they're going to have a little bit more contact trying to get around that 70 car. But you know that the 69 of Aiden Young has never really preferred the inside lane.
No.
When he gets to the inside of the double deuce, he's just not able to really get the power down. But James Lowe said in the SK race that he likes the inside here at South Boston. And you see he's able to get the job done on the double deuce of Bruce Pearson, and he is getting away fast.
So Wilson couldn't get it done on Young. Shane now has made it around, so now Young has somebody else to worry about. The 79 and the 70-19 have really been racing as smooth as a bikini wax back there, so I think he's got a lot of stuff left. That Springer on the lap card getting to the outside. What a fascinating, this is a weird dynamic, something you just don't see very often in a Bootleg Racing League race.
Yeah, the lap traffic is just way off the pace, and that's not what we're used to seeing when they come up on these guys. And there's not a lot of room to get around them. Man, you see Aiden Young poke to the outside of the 22, just about got into the wall as they almost got together, and it's almost 3 wide right here as the 79 of Adam Shane comes up on the back of these guys. But now Aiden Young gets a really good run on the outside.
And this is a tale of two cities here, with Lowe picking up more spots, just made it around Liston. Young is seeing his lead shrink, but then all of a sudden when it's time to go, Aiden gets it done on the outside. He gets the best of Pearson.
Yeah, and Aiden Young and James Lowe, they have decided to step on the gas now.
Yeah.
They've decided it's go time. They've been saving tires. We're coming back to 11 laps to go right here. Chris Davis has built a mighty huge lead, but I don't think they're going to catch him. You know, because of the fact that he burned up his stuff and got out there, I don't think it's possible to catch him without a yellow flag. These guys, James Lowe and Aiden Young, are definitely faster than him looking at the lap times, but they're going to run out of time.
You got to be thinking about the even odd ferries right now, and I don't really know if it's that bad of a position for Lowe and Young to be on even numbers. They'd be on the outside, but they can get a good restart and hold their position. Maybe they'd have something for Chris Davis, who has a gap of 5.2 seconds. Huh.
That is an eternity at South Boston and in the Bootleg Racing League. You just don't see that.
And, you know, you got Scott Negus up there that's turning just as fast as Davis is right now. Maybe Davis kind of happy. Negus kind of just clearing the way through.
Oh, man, look at this hornet's nest we're looking at. The double deuce of Bruce Pearson.
Yeah.
He is just out of tires, and he was beating and banging with John Wilson. Here comes Brendan Myers to the inside, and Trey Bloom's going to get there next.
I wonder if this is one of those things where when the tires go, they go. And something we've talked about Chris Davis about is when you're out in front, sometimes it's hard to know what your pace is like out there.
It is, but he's still got decent pace. He's not fallen way off. I mean, granted, he's in lap traffic, the 7 of Chris Davis is, and he just had to work his way around the Mike Holloway machine. He's still pacing here with Scott Negus, just following him. And sometimes it's great to have a rabbit like Scott Negus in front of you because he knows what he's doing. He's no dummy.
There's a fascinating race going on. We don't need to go there between Ed Springer, 5 laps down, and Ruben Altisse, 8 laps down. Springer in 13th position, looking to start on the pole for the season finale.
Yeah, both of them are miles off the pace, but fast enough that they're able to keep it out here and keep going. And Ed Springer has a little bit more speed than that 70 of Ruben Altisse. So I think he's going to be able to lock that spot down.
Yeah, and Ruben running out of laps now with only 3 to go. He's not going to be able to get to that 13th spot, even if there were trouble ahead of him. All right.
Oh, man, Aiden Young dealing with pressure from Adam Shane. All over the back end of Aiden Young is Adam Shane, and they're lined up behind Aiden. It's almost like he's burned his stuff up now as he's got John Wilson and Brennan Myers pressuring behind that.
Remember, of that train, Shane was at the very back. We thought that he might have something. He's looking to pick up a spot.
White flag for Chris Davis. He's got no pressure from anyone else. Chris Davis is going to come off of turn number 2 in around 3 and 4, and he's going to pick up the win here in the Bootleg Racing League Late Model Invitational Series at South Boston Speedway. But the real story is, can the 69 of Aiden Young hold on to his spot? Adam Shane comes to the inside, not going to be able to get there, and Aiden Young holds on to the 4th position and only loses 2 points in the standings.
James Lowe did just about all he could do, finishing second. I mean, a win would have been nice, but again, that's only 1 point. Aiden Young doing what he does. Just keeps getting those top 5 finishes, making it hard on his competition. My goodness, Todd Liston goes from 4th to 3rd. The racing is over, our broadcast is not. We'll take a short break as we watch Chris Davis do some donuts there. You're watching the Virtual Grip Network. Ladies and gentlemen, we have 10 races in the book. One more to go before we crown a champion. We're at South Boston Speedway, and you're watching the Virtual Grip Network, and this is the Bootleg Racing League's Late Model Invitational Series. Let's go ahead and give you the finishing order of the 21 cars that took the grid. He started in second position. He led 75 laps. He's having a really good weekend here for the Bootleg Racing. We're talking about Mr. Aggressive, number 7, Chris Davis. James Lowe, second in the points, knocks off a few more off of Aiden Young. Young has not clinched it yet. That's a reason to come back and watch. He's still within striking distance if things were to go south for Young Gun. James Lowe gets second. Todd Liston did a nice job of racing up front the whole time. He finishes third. Young goes from 10th to 4th. Adam Shane was really quick at the end, just needed another 25 laps to be maybe challenged for the race win. John Wilson and Brendan Myers go 6th and 7th. There. Trey Bloom and old-time Donnie Moore, 9th, 8th, and 9th. And then Bruce Pearson hung on, led 25 laps, and lucky to actually to finish inside the top 10 as the car was pretty much cooked at the end. All right, Ricky.
Hello, Jewel, picking up a lot of spots due to attrition. Game 10 after starting at the back of the field, finished in the 11th position. Scott Negus, we documented the spin that he had at about lap 42, and he was able to come back and finish on the lead lap there. He never did quite get lapped by the number 7 machine, but he was right in front of him for the majority of the race. Finished 12th. Ed Springer finishes 13th, 5 laps down. That means he'll be on the pole for our finale next week. And Mike Holloway finishes in the 14th spot. He lost quite a few laps having to get some repairs, along with Ruben Altiz. Same story there. 15th position. Tom Hilbert finishes 16th. Matt Hoos, our spotlighted driver, just never really had a chance. Got caught up in a couple of incidents there in the middle, and no cautions flew. And he finished 17th. Joseph Snyder finishes 18th. Chris Hazlip 19th. Kurt Smith 20th, and Steve Hilbert rounds out the field.
With that said, let's dial up the number 7 of Chris Davis and talk to our race winner. Chris, if only every race could be at Sobo.
Yeah, this is one of the free tracks you get when you first sign up for iRacing. So I feel like everybody should know this track well. But I felt like I was driving it a little bit different. I don't know what it looked like up in the booth.
No, we don't often see you. You really stunk up the show, is the NASCAR term of it, man. They've it was 5.2 seconds when I looked at it, the gap between you and second. Then you got behind Negas, who had a pretty good pace, was kind of helping you get through the lapped cars.
He was helping me think about whether or not I had a full supply of toilet paper.
You're a little bit worried there. All right, well, you had a nice lead. We didn't think we were going to mess with them at all. Is there something special about this place? You just feel comfortable, or is it just on a roll? You had a nice breakfast? What's up?
Yeah, look, a couple of things. I do enjoy this track. Some are better than others for me. This one, the two things that were working for me is I like the track, and I was using the apron to help me turn the car to try and save the tires, and I started up front. If I started, 12th, maybe I get to 6th. I don't know. Starting up front was a huge advantage on this track here tonight. So sometimes it's better to be lucky than good.
Indeed it is. Well, congratulations. I believe it's your second win of the season here in this one. Let me check. Yeah, I think you got one before it, so another one. Congratulations. We'll see you in the season finale, man. Good job.
Yeah, I'm going to miss next weekend, unfortunately. So I appreciate everybody in the league. Cheer on my teammate, John Wilson, and everything that you guys do, with everything that's going on. Look, it's a crazy world. Be kind. Always lead with kindness. And I love coming here because it's my escape from, the ugliness. So
from the madness that's out there. Congratulations. Good job, buddy. We'll see you down the road. Chris Davis, race winner tonight. We'll see him next season. All right, Ricky, who you got?
Well, we got James Lowe. Man, James, you had to start way back in the 11th position, and I know it had to be kind of heartbreaking to see the penalties give Aiden Young 2 free rows there on the jump, but you worked your way up towards the front. Tell us about your night.
Yeah, we I don't know. I should have went a lot sooner, but was kind of taking it easy there. And got behind that train of cars, and nobody was making any moves, and eventually you just got to kind of force it in there and go. But by that time we were way too far back from Chris. He drove a great race and did what he had to do. So yeah, we salvaged what we could there. I think we were definitely the fastest car on the track, but we were just too far behind to do anything with it.
Yeah, you knocked about a second or so off of Chris Davis there in the last 10 laps or so. Just he got so far out there on you, but you did knock 2 points off of the point lead that Aiden Young brought into the night. How do you feel going into the season finale next week?
Well, I mean, if he just shows up, he'll probably win it. There's really not a whole lot of... he'd have to have a really bad night for me to do anything. So I'm just going to go in there and try to win. Not really too concerned about the points. We'll try to get the streak stock one, I think we're leading there. So if we can get 1 out of 3, that won't be bad.
Well, it's been good having you back for the season, and been fun watching you this season. James Lowe finishes P2.
And with that said, we'll get to talk to the man who came home in 3rd position. It is Todd Liston. Todd, I looked at your finishing order for this season. You've got 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 9th, 11th, 16th. You are all over the board. You've coined the phrase consistency, but of late, man, it's I guess the consistency is that you've been consistently inconsistent.
Yeah, we ran into a lot of trouble early in the season and even mid-season. So tonight it's just been about trying to get some of that flow back and trying to see it out and ride it out and try to get some momentum heading in the next season.
You had a nice run. How worried were you on tire wear? Were you pretty much done? Did you have anything? Did you time it just about right?
My tires lasted okay till the end. I did get a warning kind of about 75-80 to go, or 75-80, lap 75-80. At that point, I was just trying to, Chris had gotten so far up ahead. And by that point, I kind of, even if, he would have had to have a meatball, he would have had to blow out for me to catch up to him. So we were just riding it out, trying to save what we could.
Well, you got one more to go. Let's see if you can get a little momentum, pick up a win going into next season. It's been fun to watch your race. Good luck.
Thanks, Sue.
Todd Liston, your third place finisher tonight. That's going to do it for us. When are we going to come back? We'll be back next week for the season finale. And what better place to do it than at New Smyrna Speedway? That'll be fun. But before then, tomorrow night, Phoenix Raceway. That's the OBRL, the Old Boy Racing League. That is the Cup Series. You want to catch that one. It'll be a good one. With that said, until next time, have fun storming the castle.